What up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mo.J. We are locked in. This is episode 9 of Cruel Summer, A Secret of My Own. And oh my goodness, we just keep putting the puzzle together and putting it together. We know last week we seen that Pops, him and Angela, they actually had the conversation of what they're going to do about figuring out Jeanette's life and moving forward. Because Angela wants to be there for him, and we know why the mom left, because it was just too much stress on her. But before we get into today's episode, shout out to the notification gang. If you're new to the channel, you be a part of this, hit subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Now, we know Derek's been helping his sister out. Here's the information. They've been talking to the lawyer. Man, Kate, she went over there on her own. We know that Joy went to the school to talk to the principal. Like, hey, man, you see my daughter? So now we get to see what's happening to Kate while she's inside of his house. Because in the footage that Jeanette had, we seen her just sitting in the living room. Now we get to see how did she end up how did it go far and she end up in the basement. But I'm not going to hold you guys up. This is episode 9 of Cruel Summer, A Secret of My Own. The events that are about to unfold take place during the fall of 1993 and 1994. So that's either during or before Kate was kidnapped. Yes, she's kidnapped. She may have went over there on her own. But once you take a person from a room to another room and lock them up, that is kidnapping. If I take you from your living room to the bedroom and close the door and lock it, that is considered kidnapping by the law, people. They take us back to the night that Kate actually went over to Martin's house. Now, we remember she got slapped by her mom. She ran away. She packed up a bag. She couldn't go to her friend's house because her mom knew exactly where she would be. So she went to Martin's house thinking it was a safe spot. This is the assistant principal, but we know that they've been doing a little bit of flirting. Very disgusting, Martin. But this is day one. We're going to see her over at the house. Kate's over here and she says, I'm feeling like I'm alone when I'm at home. There's no one there for me. Because if you remember at this point, Rod, he's still defending for his wife, Joy, because he doesn't really get on Kate's side till later on, until after she's released. And he's saying, I should have stepped up and been more of a father instead of a stepfather. Now, while she's there, Martin's saying, you're not alone. I'm here for you. Now, we know Martin's been pushing up on her ever since the beginning of time. Since they first met and they went to the little shooting trip on the weekend, he's been talking to Kate. And we seen the weirdo when they were at the little fair. He was looking at Kate like, okay, Kate. His dude is, oh man, very, very disgusting. Parents, keep your kids away from these adults. In 94, she's talking to the therapist. Now, in the background, you can hear the voice of the therapist talking. This is taking place in 94, but this is 93, and she's describing what happens. Now, someone like Martin, what do? They're grooming. They're grooming Kate. They're isolating her. They're taking her away from everything, and they're making her feel like, hey, I'm the only one you can come and talk to. And once they do that, that's when they can trap you, because you feel safe with this person. He's the principal. He's actually listening to me. He's hearing things out. Now he has you letting your guard down, which you can see here because she's going through some things. And that's when he'll take advantage of her. Day 2, Kate wakes up. She's looking around for Martin. You can still hear the therapist talking about the grooming tactics. Now, this false sense of security that Martin gave to her, now you feel like, oh, I'm safe here. I can do what needs to be done here. I can just sit here and let things blow by. But really, no, this is just the trap. This is just the beginning. You're lured in at this point. The morning of day 2, we actually see Kate. She's walking around the house, being curious, being nosy. Just sit your butt in the living room. But she gets up. She walks around the house. She sees the basement door is cracked. And she walks down there and she's looking around. She's in the mirror looking at herself. Once she comes back upstairs, Martin is right there. The therapist is asking Kate, does she see the reality of what was going on? Meaning, did you see any of the signs that you were, seeing being groomed to be locked up? And she tells the therapist, there's something I have to tell you. I wasn't always locked up. And when she comes upstairs, you see Martin, how'd you sleep? She's like a baby. So this is interesting. In the beginning, we know that she was free. She was walking around the house because that's how they were. Now, I'm thinking she was probably trying to leave, and Martin was like, oh no, I got you now. Over at the Wallis house, Rod is actually, hey, where's Kate at? She stayed out all night. We should probably call the police. Now, on the other hand, we got Joy talking about, oh no, we'll figure this out. We don't want our daughter on the police's radar. And he's like, what? We need hey, tell her we're sorry and let's get her back here. But Joy's like, nah, let's get her back. And, then we'll talk about it. And Rod's saying, all right, But once we get it back, we still got to discuss you and your little affair that you're having. So Rod was actually trying to figure out where Kate was. And remember, he's saying he wished he would have did more. So if he would have just went to the police, because we know Joy, she didn't go to the police. She went to the school and talked to Martin. We see Martin and Kate in the kitchen, they're eating, and he's telling her, hey, I got to go to school early. Can you walk? And she's like, all right, yeah. And he's saying, hey, I never connected with a student before on this level. I like our friendship, but it's Mr. Harris, at least when we're at school, because, you got to keep that professionalism. Now, any adult or professional teacher, they would know if a female student comes over, the best thing for you to do is to call a female teacher or somebody and say that, hey, this young girl feels like this. You guys take her. You're not supposed to take her on your own. But this was what leads us to the prank. Martin says, all right, I'm going to head on out. Then we see Mallory outside recording him walking out the house. And this is what leaves Kate at the house by herself, because she doesn't go to school. She just hangs out at the house. Now, Kate's at the house just chilling. She ain't went to school. Now she's being real nosy. She done went through the man's medicine cabinet, went through his clothes. She done put on one of his shirts. It's like, Kate, what are you doing? Come on now. Martin comes home from school at the line of joy, not knowing where Kate is. Kate's at the house with a frozen piece. It looks like a chocolate chip cookie, how burnt up it is. The smoke detector's going off. He's like, oh man, what are you doing here? Why didn't you go to school? She's like, oh, I was thinking of what to say. I'm not a good liar. He's like, look, you need to leave right now because I lied to your mom about you being here. And she's like, now she's trying to play the victim. I'm leaving now. And she's upset. But Martin's like, dog, I can lose my job for this. Worse, I could go to jail. Come on, man. You got to get up out of here. They get to the living room and Kate's about to leave and they get a phone call and it's a detective. And guess what he tells Martin? Kate is now officially a missing person. And this right here is about to make things even worse because this is going to straight look like kidnapping now because you lied to everybody about not knowing where Kate is. Kate's telling him, I need help because I can go home and fix this, but I'm a bad liar. You have to help me. Now, Martin, he makes a drink. He makes Kate a drink too. And then he says, oh, don't drink that. I forgot you're underage. There's no way you forgot that this girl was underage when you just got a call from the missing persons. She's been staying here. So now he's thinking, what do I have to do? Because it's almost over with for him. The best thing y'all can do is just say, hey, she came over here, let her leave, and she just hid out in the woods or something. She just got to come up with a lie, but she can't mention Martin if he wants to clear himself. But we know that's not what happened. Listen to me carefully what I'm about to say. In no way am I standing up for Martin because we know what creep this man is. But in this situation, the only way he can clear himself is to say, I took in a kid that was abused by her parents. I lied to the mother because she was the one that abused her. I kept her here. But instead, he's listening to Kate and she's talking about, when I'm stuck on a homework problem, I like to clear my mind. I go for a run or play a game. You got Monopoly? You got a deck of cards? He's like, nah. She convinces this man, let's play a game, never have I ever. A drinking game with an underage student. Martin, you could have easily fixed this. Hey, she's over here. I lied because she was being abused by her parents. That's it. But no, we know Martin is a creep and he just falls for it. I won't even say falls for it because this is what he actually wanted with Kate. I just can't do anything. I'm trying to help a man get out of a situation and this man is being a fucking creep. They play Never Have I Ever. She says she's the captain of the debate team and he says never have I ever been on a debate team. And hands her a bottle of scotch or a glass of scotch. Now me, I'm a grown man and I hate drinking that shit straight. But he gives this to a 16, 17-year-old girl. Oh my God, we're done here, Martin. You're too far down the hole. And Kate, you get some of this blame too. Now you're underage and Martin should be the responsible one. But parents, be on your kids more. Make sure that they don't go down this path. They should know that there's a boundary between kids and adults. just like I was saying with the boundaries between a kid and an adult, the therapist says that wasn't a friendship you guys had. This guy has power over you. It's just like you hanging out with your boss or something, or the boss dating the employee. You don't do that. That's fraternizing. This person has power over you, so they have the power to make you do certain things. So this wasn't a friendship. He was using Kate. We know he was grooming her, and that's why I say you got to know, teach your kids, hey, I'm an adult. I'm your parent. I'm not your friend. I'm your parent. There's a distinguished gap between that. So this is on the parents too, and we know how Joy is. Now I'm really getting uncomfortable watching this just because we know what happened and her being kidnapped by an older man. But they're talking, and she's asking him how old he is, and he's like, "Oh, well, old enough." And they're still playing this game, Never Have I Ever. And she asks him, has he ever took a road trip? He's like, yeah, from Maine to Florida. She's like, is it for a girl? He's like, yeah. He's like, man, you have an old soul. No, she doesn't. She has a young soul. She ran away from her house and was hiding out. That's not nothing old about that. That's what young teenage kids do. But she's just looking at him. He's like, yeah, if you go to Key West, you might need a tour guide. And she says, someone older and wiser? I really don't like what's going on here. This is really disgusting. But it's a TV show and we must carry on. Of course, drinking games lead into you know what. So they're still playing. He says, never have I ever kissed anyone older than me. She's like, well, you got me there because Jamie is 6 months older than her. And then he says, how about significantly older than you? So he's just throwing out these little subtle hints to her like, hey, you know what I'm saying? But she's falling into it and she's saying, are you daring me? And then he kind of backs up like, oh, man, I'm tripping. Nah, I was just, I was just talking. This man Martin, bro. The therapist asked Kate, did you feel like while you were there, you didn't want to disappoint him? And Kate says, I was raised to not disappoint anybody. And the therapist calls that out. Martin, he noticed that. And that's why he was exploiting these things. He's throwing out these subtle hints like, oh, you're doing this because he knows you're not going to disappoint him. When he really wants something, you're going to do it. And that's what she was trying to explain about that power dynamic. When someone has that kind of power over you, they're going to do things to manipulate into their favor. And that's one thing that was happening. And it begins. Now, he's talking about his bedtime. She goes to sleep, but we see her on another day. They playing hide and go seek in the house. She's popping out the closet. They're kissing each other. And it's just it's over with. Martin, you're going to jail. Kate, you need to get the hell up out this house. It's just too far at this point. And I don't know what to tell it because this is some white people shit, people. That's all I'm going to say, man. Day 21, white people shit. No offense to the white people watching, but this is what y'all be doing. Playing tag, running around the house. She just in here living it up. This dude Martin is going to work like nothing's happening. 21 days missing. Come on, bro. I don't know. They playing tag. He chases her downstairs. He just acting like there ain't nothing going on in the outside world. She tells him, no, I'm sweaty. He tells her to go run us a shower. No, man, this hoe is just getting dug deeper and deeper. And on the news, they talking about Kate missing. He goes over there and turns it off because he's like, man, I ain't trying to hear that. I'm living my life. Now, I'm not, like I said, no disrespect to my white people watching because I love y'all, but this is two white people. So that's why I said this is some white people shit. Oh, man, Martin, you a wild dude, man. Martin's getting up, going to work. She's sitting at the house like she's somebody's housewife. She's talking about, I'm bored. Won't you stay here? And he's like, look, won't you read some of them travel guides and you pick a place? And once it's safe for us to go, how about on your 18th birthday? That's a place we'll go. So this dude is planning out for a year and a half out. Like, man, you're going to be living with me this long. And then we're just going to go hang out like nothing ever happened. Day 34. Now, this has been a whole month. They're on the couch, they're laid up. And she's asking, hey, do you know about this other family? You know, the parents, they're 15 years apart. I can't wait till I turn 18 because my parents like you. And then we could be in a real relationship. And Martin's telling her, hey, don't worry about growing up too fast. And then all of a sudden we hear, ding dong, somebody's at the door. Jeanette's dad pops up. He's like, hey, man, I got a flat tire. Let me call my wife. They threw Kate in the closet and he comes in. He's trying to get him, hey, get out the living room. I'm not letting anybody in my house, regardless. I don't care if it's a student parent. Even if Kate wasn't here, I'm like, hey, dog, no, man. If you need to call somebody, stand your ass outside. I'll bring you the phone. He gets on the phone. He's looking on the table. He says, oh, what are you planning your escape? Because all the travel guys are down there. And he's like, what? And he's like, nah, Jeanette told me, the theme is around the world at school. Now he's on the phone. He's walking around the living room, looking around, snooping around. Yeah, my tire's flat. I'm like, hey, bro, stay in one spot. Don't be walking around my house. Then he sees the 2 coffee cups. Hey, you got company over here? Yeah. Like, hey, dog, don't ask me what I got going on in my house. Use the phone and get up out of here. But he's like, hey, thanks, Martin, for the phone, and I'm out of here. And now, Martin's heart is racing. Martin's heart is racing. He had to go to Home Depot. He had to get some blinds, put them up in front of the thing, some curtains. He's doing too much. Just let this girl leave, and you had to come up with some story or something. But, man, you putting yourself in danger, and you got Kate. Yeah, man, it was weird just being thrown into the closet. Y'all got to figure this out, man. This is not going to work. Day 64 is Halloween. We done went through 2 full months. And Kate's talking about, hey, man, let me open the door when the trick-or-treaters come. He's like, nah, we can't do that. She's talking about, let me wear a mask. He said, we just go make it fun and, watch movies like we always do. But I got a PTA meeting. She asked about the cops. And the cops think that, well, it sounds like he may be lying, but they think that she left the city and went somewhere else. Kate says by Halloween, she actually wanted to leave. She was missing her family and how they actually were. Different in public and different than they were at home. She says the reason she never left is because Martin made it clear that she had to choose between him and the outside world. But when you're being locked into a place and you're confined, well, she wasn't locked in because she had the opportunity to leave. But when you're in this spot with no one to talk to, she wanted real conversation. She even asked Martin, how long is this going to last? Because we know that there's no way possible that you're going to be able to hide this girl in here for all this time with people looking for her without getting caught. But Kate, she's starting to miss her family. She's realizing, hey, yeah, when you go out in public, your family is going to be different than they are behind closed doors. Kate says everything that was supposed to make her happy, Martin made her believe that it was within this house. Now she's asking about her family. How you see my parents, how they're holding up. Now he's saying I've been swamped in work because he's isolating her. He doesn't want her to even think about the family because he wants her to focus on him. Martin is all you need. Now she's talking about some stuff and he put apples in it. I've never heard of it. That's some white people stuff. But she's like, my mom doesn't make it like this. He's like, yeah, new traditions. He makes Kate breakfast. This is Christmas Eve. And she said the homesickness is really kicking in. She talking about she wants a pretzel. She misses the mall. She misses the mints that you got at the end of a meal, the popcorn. Oh, and mainly misses the mall. Now, this is a teenage girl, so of course she's going to miss the mall. That's her social life. She wants to be able to talk to other people outside of Martin. Now, Martin, he's saying, oh, well, just stay in bed and I'm going to go run some more errands. So in Martin's head, this is probably when he's thinking, man, she might be close to running away. I'm going to have to lock her up. Martin heads to the mall, and guess who we see? Jeanette, she's out there with a hoodie on. She sees the principal. We don't know what she's doing, but she puts that hood on. Then you hear the cops pulling up. I'm talking about 2 cars deep. Martin turns around. He's like, oh, man, they coming for me. So he kind of slowly puts his hands up, but the cops run past him. And you know this man's heart is... Boy, you spooked. Hell, whenever the cops turn their sirens on, and I'm not even doing nothing. I'm like, damn, here they come. They coming to get your boy Mo. But I ain't doing none of this criminal shit he doing. If you were wondering about a snow globe, remember, it's at Mallory's house. Jeanette came looking for it. The snow globe is right here on the table. So it was at Martin's house. Remember, they've been going back and forth, stealing things from there. Just so you guys know, this is where the snow globe was. And now Kate's getting on the phone. Kate got on the phone. She called Jamie's private line. Jeanette's coming through the front door. And Kate runs upstairs. Oh my goodness, this is getting good. At this point, Kate's like, oh man, she tries to go into the room because she just ran at the top of the stairs, but it was a squeaky board up there and Jeanette's like, uh-oh. She grabs a snow globe. I don't think either one of them seen each other at this point, but she looks up, she doesn't see nothing, and she just hightails it up out of there with the snow globe. Oh man, Jeanette leaves her necklace. It falls, I don't know how it falls off her neck while she was in here, but she drops her necklace and Kate finds it. So this is how Kate gets Jeanette's necklace, doing a robbery. Kate turns the lights off, runs to the window to see who it is, and she sees a woman in a hoodie on a bike leaving. So all she can do is assume, maybe, is that Jeanette? I can't really see who it is, but I do have this necklace. So that might be where she's saying, oh, Jeanette seen me. I don't know. The reason she didn't tell Martin about the necklace and Jeanette coming over is because that was her secret. Something in this house that he had no control over. And the therapist is saying another reason you didn't tell him is because you were thinking Jeanette seen you and she would notify the police. So it wouldn't be you leaving. It would be the police coming and separating what's going on here. But we don't know if Jeanette actually seen her or not. Because Jeanette said, I didn't see her. Jeanette's just breaking in the house. We seen she got the snow globe. She looked upstairs, didn't see anybody, and ran off. Kate said she did leave one night. Now, what she did was she went back to her house. And when she looked in the window, she seen Joy and Rod, and they were in there laughing. But, of course, to her from the outside, it looks like, oh, they're laughing and they're living their life. But on the inside, we actually hear that they said, I haven't laughed in 4 months since she's been missing. The whole time they're laughing is because they're just thinking of all the good times. It's not they're laughing because they carried on with their life. Even Joy's talking about, I'm too hurt. Let's not have Christmas dinner. Rod's talking about, man, I just keep visualizing her coming and knocking on the door on Christmas Eve, on Christmas Day, talking about, Daddy, I miss you. And that's all she had to do was knock on the door. But from her, she couldn't hear what was going on. She just seen laughter. And that's probably the reason she went back to Marge's house, because it looked like, oh, the family, they're doing good without her. She comes back to the house and she tells the therapist, seeing my parents happy without me, it just made me realize why I ended up at Martin's house. But like I was saying, she couldn't hear what they were talking about. They were only laughing because they were just thinking about all the good times about her, and they really wanted her to come home. But she didn't understand that. She didn't know that's what they were doing. So she went back to Martin's house. And when she got in that bed, Martin woke back up. Day 119, Christmas morning, and he gets her a gift, and it's some pearls. She's like, oh, help me put it on. 119 days in the house, and she only left once. Man, even during the pandemic, I did 365 days in the house, but I left at least 2, 3, 4 times a week riding a bike. But he got her some diamond pearls, and this may be the night that she gets locked in the basement. We know there was a scene earlier in the season where she had on the red dress. She was in the basement. This red dress came because he bought her the dress. He got her the pearls for their Christmas dinner. So this may be the night she becomes locked up after 119 days of just walking around the house. Remember, I told you Martin, he woke up because he knew she was gone. She said Christmas was the first time that she ever felt scared of him. And the therapist says because he's running out of things to manipulate you with. Now that he knows that you're leaving the house because you're feeling a certain way, he tells her straight up, I'll tell you when I'll be mad at something. So pretty much he's like, I'm gonna have to lock her up because she's running away. And eventually she's going to mess everything up for him and he's going to get in trouble for this. So I was right. This is going to be the day. Martin's in here. You know what that would do to me? He's going off like, bruh, you're done. Anything that's done after day 1 is on you, brother. After you lied, it's over with. Nothing that this young girl does is on her. It's on you for manipulating her. And he's talking about, you can't do anything. You can't go outside till you're 18. And she said, you don't sound like my dad. You sound like my kidnapper. She says, let me leave. Martin's like, is that what you want? Yeah, fool. She don't want to be in this damn house. So she takes the pearls off and put them on the table. She's like, yes, that's what I want. I want to leave. She's like, where's my suitcase? I'm going to pack it up. I'll take everything. I won't tell anybody. I'm sorry it has to be this way. Martin's like, no, I'm sorry it has to be this way. So he tells her suitcase is in the basement. And look at him up at the top of the stairs. There's nothing in the basement. He locks the door on her. She's down there. Martin. And he turns on the music and sits on the back of the couch. This is where it all begins. Day 119, Christmas. There you go, episode 9 of Cruel Summer. Let me know what you think about this. We all knew that Martin was a psychopath, a weird man, very disgusting. But let me know what you think about this whole episode, because Oh man, everything's starting to piece together. Do you think Jeanette seen Kate that night? That's what I really want to know, because I don't think she's seen her. But let me know what you guys think. I'm J. Thanks for watching. If you like the content on the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.